Chapter 234, Peerless Powerhouse. However, in the face of such a peerless enchanting beauty, the surrounding crowd was all trembling with fear and awe. 100 Change King, the Heavenly Dragon Gang doesn't have only one quasi-invincible powerhouse. They also have the Heavenly Dragon Emperor and the Earthly Dragon Emperor. Their strength isn't much worse than ours. Before we are promoted to quasi-invincible again, we'd better keep a low profile. The Black Demon King looked at the visitor and said in a deep voice, "If Kang Chon's trio were here, they would have realized that the group of people who had suddenly arrived were the very same cultivators who had set off from Earth City with them. And the two strongest people leading them were none other than the Black Demon King and the 100 Changes King. Only, at this moment, both the Black Demon King and the 100 Changes King had undergone considerable changes. Their strength had increased a lot, and they were already no worse than the Hegemony King at the beginning, and could step into the quasi-invincible realm at any time. Obviously, relying on killing the hearts of ferocious beasts during this period of time, their strength had progressed very quickly. When the two of them joined forces, even if they faced a quasi-invincible powerhouse, they wouldn't lose, and at the very least, they could defend themselves. It was because of such strength that they were able to arrive here so quickly. An slave will listen to you in everything. That's always fine." The 100 Changes King swept a glance at the Black Demon King demurely and beamed, her appearance full of temptation. The other cultivators around them turned their heads away, not daring to look at her. The Black Demon King also felt a headache, and in the end, he had no choice but to bury his head and move forward, traveling towards the small city ahead. In just a few moments, this group of people arrived in front of the small city. How come there are no guards at this city gate? The Dark Demon King was surprised. All the way from the city of Earth, the strongholds they passed through had guards, and those guards were all members of the gangs that occupied the strongholds in order to exploit the passing cultivators. The Black Demon King had thought that the Heavenly Dragon Gang would also send guards to collect protection fees. Just where was a single silhouette in front of the gates of the small city. There was nothing but the gates wide open. Strange, there's something weird about this stronghold. Go in and take a look. The 100 Change King was also surprised, but she was so bold in her art that she directly walked into the city. Seeing this, the Black Demon King also had no choice but to lead the crowd into the city. Wow, unlike the outside of the city, the small city was filled with a hubbub of passing cultivators. The Black Demon King and the others were instantly stunned. This stronghold was really getting stranger and stranger. The strongholds they had passed through before were not this noisy at all. This gentleman, why is this stronghold unguarded? Wasn't this place occupied by the Heavenly Dragon Gang? The 100 Changes King gave full play to her enchanting strengths and called out to a passing young cultivator to ask. The cultivators from the city of Earth couldn't help but mourn for this young man, and they all sighed in their hearts. Another fool who was deceived by the 100 Changes King's appearance. Fairy. This place was indeed originally occupied by the Heavenly Dragon Gang, but half a month ago, after the Heavenly Dragon Emperor and the Emperor of the Earth Dragon were beheaded by two supreme powers, the Heavenly Dragon Gang was disbanded, and now this stronghold is ownerless. This young cultivator was immediately mesmerized by the 100 Change King's stunning beauty, and almost didn't spit out his ancestors. The Black Demon King and the 100 Changes King couldn't help but glance at each other when they heard this. They both saw the shock in each other's eyes. They had heard of the great names of the Heavenly Dragon Emperor and the Earthly Dragon Emperor for a long time now. They were definitely not weaker than their strongest counterparts, and they were actually killed just like that. Isn't the Heavenly Dragon Gang's gang leader a quasi-invincible powerhouse? Could it have been killed as well? The 100 Changes King continued to pursue the question. The young cultivator had long since been immersed in the 100 Changes King's stunning beauty, and said in a trance, "The heavenly dragon gang master is not here. It is said that he is in seclusion to impact the invincible realm, and no one knows where he is right now." The Black Demon King and the 100 Changes King were in a trance. It seemed that this time, the heavenly dragon gang had fallen on bad luck, and had actually encountered a great enemy while the gang master was away. However, since those two peerless powerhouses dared to kill the heavenly dragon emperor and the earthly dragon emperor, they clearly had a considerable amount of backbone. Their hearts were instantly filled with caution, and they hurriedly restrained their men, warning them never to provoke those two peerless powerhouses. Do you know the names of the two peerless powerhouses that killed the heavenly dragon emperor and the earthly dragon emperor? The 100 Change King finally asked. The young cultivator shook his head and said, "They didn't say. We only saw that one of those two was a bald monk and the other was a golden-haired monkey. There was also a young man in a purple robe who was also their companion." Monk, golden-haired monkey, purple robe, seems a little familiar. The Black Demon King frowned at his words. The 100 Changes King also fell into deep thought, and right at this moment, a cold hum rang out. "Close the city gates." On a high building, there stood a violet-robed youth coldly scanning the crowd, his icy voice resounding in their ears. The purple-robed youth's eyes were so stern that everyone who saw them couldn't help but tremble a little. The Black Demon King and the 100 Changes King also saw this violet-robed youth, and their eyes shrunk violently. Then they were filled with incredulity. "That's him. He's the companion of those two peerless powerhouses." At this moment, the young cultivator, who had been confused by the 100 Changes King, also saw the purple-robed youth and instantly exclaimed in shock, "It really is him. No wonder. He does have this kind of strength." The Black Demon King couldn't help but be stunned, his eyes filled with horror. "It's the Hegemony Emperor. He actually came here alive, didn't pass by the other strongholds, and fought his way here hard." "How strong is that?" The 100 Change King was also shocked. Only they knew clearly how Kang Tian had come to this stronghold. It was completely by his own strength, fighting his way here step by step. This was something that only a peerless level powerhouse could do. At this moment, Kang Tian commanded the people in the city to start laying down their defenses, because the sky was about to get dark, and soon the ferocious beasts were going to attack the city. Although Kang Tian did not show how powerful he was in front of the crowd, under the intimidation of Xiaojin and Fanxin, none of the people in the city dared to disobey Kang Tian's orders. More importantly, Kang Tian's orders were very fair to the crowd, so many people respected Kang Tian greatly. Hegemonic Emperor. What Hegemonic Emperor? The young cultivator awoke from the 100 Change King's charm at this time and murmured softly, as he felt his head was a little dazed. "There's no such thing as a hegemonic emperor. Soon the ferocious beasts will be attacking the city. Hurry up and go prepare your defense." The 100 Change King impatiently dismissed the youth. In the youth's trance, the Black Demon King's group also marched towards the city wall along with the flow of people, defending against the ferocious beasts attacking the city. This was the obligation of every cultivator in the stronghold. More importantly, while defending, one could also kill the ferocious beasts and hunt for hearts. Under the temptation of the heart, not a single cultivator would be lazy, and they all obeyed Kang Tian's orders and went to their posts to stand firm. Soon, the sun completely disappeared, and the entire battlefield was shrouded in darkness. Roar, roar, roar. Kang Tian stood on a high building, listening to the familiar sound of beast roars coming from him. As he looked extremely far away, he saw a swarm of black ferocious beasts surging from the distant earth, rampaging towards the small city. With the arrival of these ferocious beasts on the city walls, a cultivator gripped the swords and spears and clubs in his hands, each of them with glaring eyes, ready to meet the battle. Begin the battle. Under Kang Tian's cold drink, fierce battles erupted as an endless stream of ferocious beasts leapt onto the city walls, fighting with one cultivator after another. The sounds of killing rose and fell with each other. As darkness fell, the small city was once again faced with countless ferocious beasts attacking the city. However, the crowd was already accustomed to such scenes, and every cultivator on the city walls stood firm at their posts, killing the ferocious beasts that rushed up one by one. The newly arrived Black Demon King's group of people were also the same. As they killed the ferocious beasts while looking at Kang Chon standing on top of the tall building, their hearts filled with shock. When Kang Chon's trio had taken an alternative route and set off from another path, they had all thought that the fall of these three was imminent. But what they didn't expect was that Kang Chon, with his powerful strength, had fought his way to this stronghold and had forced even the Heavenly Dragon Gang to disband. The unpredictability of the world made the Black Demon King and the 100 Changes King sigh with emotion. I wonder if he's really promoted to invincibility. The Black Demon King looked at Kang Chon in a daze. Back when he was in the City of Earth, Kang Chon had a quasi-invincible strength. And now I'm afraid that he's likely to enter the invincible realm. Invincible or the Black Demon King imagined that he was shocked. This was a realm that how many spirit-sealing space cultivators could only dream of. However, a trialist who had just arrived not long ago had just reached it. This is a strong person that we can't reach. Hegemonic Emperor Kang Chon will surely be famous in the Flood continent in the future. The 100 Change King also sighed. I don't know about the future, but the spirit-sealing space is bound to have another invincible powerhouse. The Black Demon King's eyes flickered, and his eyes were filled with yearning for the invincible realm. Roar, roar, roar. Along with the death of the fierce beast cannon fodder, a powerful king-level fierce beast rushed up the city wall, causing tremendous pressure on the crowd. However, instead of being afraid, the people pounced on these king-level ferocious beasts with excited faces. This was because in their eyes, these king-level ferocious beasts represented a king-level heart. The Black Demon King and the 100 Changes King and the others were no longer emotional, as they also killed a king-grade fierce beast. And even though the king-grade fierce beast's heart was of very little use to them at the moment, in the spirit of the principle of not wasting it, they still did not let go of these king-grade fierce beasts. The battle became more and more intense. Even those cultivators inside the city, who were preparing to rescue them, rushed up to the city walls and competed to snatch these king-level ferocious beasts. Kang Chon coldly watched this scene without the slightest worry in his heart. With these crazy people, the ferocious beasts simply couldn't attack the city. He was currently searching for the leader who was leading the beasts, the king-level ferocious beast. It should be about to appear. Kang Chon smiled coldly, his stern gaze constantly scanning over the battlefield. As long as that imperial-grade fierce beast appeared, it would not be able to escape his eyes. Roar. Soon, a roar shook the heavens and the earth. Everyone was shocked. Everyone turned their heads to look. That imperial-grade fierce beast had finally appeared, revealing its chilling fangs towards the crowd. On the high floor, Kang Chon coldly smiled. His figure came out, rushing towards that imperial-level ferocious beast. It's an emperor-level ferocious beast. Some cultivators exclaimed in shock, and some emperor-level powerhouses even wanted to make a move. But when they saw Kang Chon's figure, they all stopped helplessly one by one. Although they didn't know exactly how strong Kang Chon was, but to be able to become the companion of Fan Xin and Xiaojin, they were afraid that at worst, they were at the peak of the emperor level, so how would they dare to offend? The Black Demon King and the 100 Changes King couldn't help but feel a stirring in their hearts when they heard the roar of the emperor-level ferocious beast, but they were equally scornful of Kang Chon and didn't dare to make a move to snatch it. In the end, Kang Chon blew out the head of this imperial-grade ferocious beast with a single punch and obtained an imperial-grade heart under the envious gazes of the crowd. The battle lasted for the entire night, and it wasn't until dawn the next day that the countless ferocious beasts slowly retreated. The cultivators in the city had all gained something from the night's fight, and at this time, they all went back to refine the hearts of the ferocious beasts they had hunted. When Kang Chon saw the beasts retreating, he also flashed and disappeared. The Black Demon King and the 100 Changes King at Kang Chon's back, silent and speechless. They thought that they could catch up with Kang Chon, but they didn't want the gap between them to become more and more enormous. With a soft sigh, the two also found a place to refine their hearts and went. In the headquarters of the original Heavenly Dragon Gang, where Kang Chon's 3 people were now in seclusion and cultivation. In a luxurious mansion, Little Gold and Brahma Heart awoke one after another. The two had finally ended their seclusion. How was it? Kang Chon asked with a smile. In fact, he had already felt the change in the aura of the two of them. Little Gold and Brahma Heart. Their gains from this retreat were bound to be not small.